Marriage jokes. Q. What's the worst thing your wife can say during sex? A. Honey, I'm home. Alcohol jokes. This guy walks into a bar and sits down on a stool and places a bottle of prescribed medication on the bar. The man sitting next to him says, "What is that?" The guy says, "These are smart pills, you take one and it makes you smarter." The half-drunk man says, "You're joking, aren't you?" And the guy says, "No, I am not." So the drunk says to the bartender, "Give a large glass of beer." The drunk opens the bottle and takes a pill and washes it down. A few minutes later the drunk says, "I don't feel smarter." And the guy says, "Well, some people require more than one pill." So the drunk takes another pill and washes it down, and few minutes later he says, "I still don't feel any smarter." So the drunk says, "Hey, let me see those pills." The drunk takes a pill and smells it and says, "It smells like shit," and he tastes it and says, "It tastes like shit." The guy says, "See, you're getting smarts already." Jokes about life. What are you doing there? I'm making something. What are you making? A. Bomb. Can I help? Impossible. It's a nuclear one. Alcohol jokes. Got home from the pub at 3 o'clock this morning. The wife was waiting at the door with a rolling pin. I said to her, "What are you doing baking at this time of the night?" Sport jokes. Patty asks Murphy, "Why do scuba divers fall off their boats backwards?" Murphy replies, "If they fell forwards they'd still be on the F***ing boat." Yo Mama jokes. Yo Mama Euro trademark s so ugly, the government moved Halloween to her birthday. Chuck Norris jokes. Chucky Norris doesn't a Euro trademark to ride a horse, he uses his crotch to carry it. Cop jokes. A fellow bought a new Corvette and was out on an interstate for a nice evening drive. The top was down, the breeze was blowing through what was left of his hair, and he decided to open her up. As the needle jumped up to 80 mph he suddenly saw a flashing red and blue light behind him. There ain't no way they can catch a Corvette, he thought to himself and opened her up further. The needle hit 90, 100, 130 and finally 150 with the light still behind him. What the hell am I doing? He thought and pulled over. The cop came up to him, took his license without a word and examined it and the car. "I've had a tough shift. And this is my last pull over. I don't feel like more paperwork, so if you can give me an excuse for your driving that I haven't heard before, you can go." "Last week my wife ran off with a cop," the man said, "and I was afraid you were trying to give her back." "Off you go," said the officer. Jokes about women. Jim and Edna are both mental patients. One day Jim jumps into the swimming pool, but doesn't come up for air. Quick as a flash, Edna sees her friend in trouble, so dives in and pulls him out. Later, the hospital director calls Edna into his office and says, "Edna, I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is, we are releasing you as you are obviously sane, saving another's life. But unfortunately, the bad news is that Jim hanged himself in the bathroom." "Oh. No," Edna replies, "that's where I put him to dry." Jokes about life. The city health inspector walks into a new restaurant unannounced and takes a seat where he can see the kitchen. While he is sitting there, an order goes back for a pizza. The chef appears and the health inspector nearly chokes when he sees that he is not wearing a shirt. As if the health inspector didn't already have enough fuel for his citation writing pen, the chef proceeded to grab a lump of pizza dough and press it out flat on his bare chest. Appalled, the health inspector had barely finished up when an order came back for a hamburger. They Cook proceeded to grab a handful of ground meat and pressed it into a perfect patty in his armpit. Shocked and bewildered, the health inspector called for the manager and explained the gravity of the deplorable conditions he had seen. "That's nothing," replied the manager, "you should come back at 5 in the morning when he makes the donuts."